Well, today you are going to get two recipes. The common ingredient is goat cheese. One is a side dish. It's steamed beets with goat cheese. And the second one is an appetizer, and it is goat cheese truffles. They're both very easy, very few ingredients, and they really pack a lot of flavor. So first, let's start with the side dish, because that's going to take a little bit longer. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of beets, peeled and cut into 1/2 inch chunks. That's about 3 to 4 medium-sized beets. 1/4 cup of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of hot paprika, kosher salt, 4-ounce log of goat cheese, fresh ground black pepper, 1/2 cup of pistachios, 1/4 cup peeled and seeded diced cucumber, and extra virgin olive oil. Well, I have about 1 inch of water in the saucepan that I'm going to steam the beets, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. I am going to add the vinegar, and I'm going to add the hot paprika. And I've got to tell you what a difference it makes when you use the Hungarian or Spanish hot as opposed to just normal paprika. So I put that in the water, put the steamer basket in, and then the beets. And I will put this on the stove to boil, and then it will steam for about 30 to 40 minutes. Just make sure you check it every now and then to make sure that the beets are fork tender. And we'll be right back after that to prepare the rest of the dish. Well, after about 35 minutes, these were ready to go. So I threw them in this bowl just to cool them a little bit. And all I'm gonna do now is, this is very easy. I'm going to take half of this goat cheese and I'm going to break it up throughout this wonderful dish. I am going to, look at that, a little more of the hot paprika. This is just a 1/2 teaspoon. This stuff goes a long way, let me tell you. And then a tablespoon of white vinegar. Oops, spilled some on the counter. So then you don't want this to be really smooth. You want it to be a little chunky. So I'm just going to roughly, coarsely mash it and try to get all of these ingredients combined. Then what I'm gonna do is stick this in the fridge just for about 20 minutes, half hour, to let it cool a little further, and then we'll finish it off and it'll be ready to serve. All right, now for the second recipe. This is goat cheese truffles. These can be made up in no time. That makes about 32 to 34 little truffle balls, and these are packed with flavor. For this recipe, you'll need 12 ounces of goat cheese, softened to room temperature, 2 teaspoons of finely chopped thyme, 2 teaspoons of finely chopped chives, kosher salt and fresh ground pepper to taste, 4 dried apricots, quartered, and 1/4 cup of chopped dried cherries, and 3/4 cups of finely chopped pistachios. All right, this is really easy to assemble and it comes together very quickly. All I'm going to add is the chopped thyme. Now, you can add other herbs to this, but I think the chives add a little bit of that onion flavor, and thyme just adds a warmth to it, and I think it works really well with the goat cheese. But if you want the rosemary, I think it might be a little overpowering, but whatever herbs you have in your garden, I'm sure would work well. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, because you can't ever have enough salt, right? Always adds a little bit of flavor. And then some fresh ground black pepper. And now it is really, you gotta use your hands. So now we're going right in the bowl, and I am going to thoroughly mix the herbs. So I'm gonna take half of the goat cheese, all right? And I am going to set that aside. Then what I'm gonna do is take just a little bit. You just make a little ball, okay? And then I'm gonna use my thumb or your finger, and I'm gonna stick in a little divot, and I'm going to take a piece of the apricot, see? bury it in there, little treasure. Now, for the cherries, you could probably use dried cranberries also, but I like the sour tartness of the cherries, and I've chopped these up. And you make your little 1-inch ball with the cherries in it. So I'll get rolling, and I'll make all of our little goat cheese truffles, and then we'll roll them in the crushed pistachios, and we'll chill them, and we've got hors d'oeuvres. So it's chilled, our truffles have chilled, and now I'm just going to finish this off. It's better when it chills. So now the cheese has also chilled, and all you want to do is crumble it and drop it randomly. Ma, if you want, why don't you sprinkle the little cucumbers. That adds a nice freshness to it. I must say, this was Ken's suggestion.
Yes.
The cucumbers. And then pistachios. Just a little drizzle with some olive oil. I don't really think it needs salt and pepper at this point because there's a lot going on because of the paprika that was added earlier. But you can always pass that at the table. So here,
Yes, right.
I'll give you a little scoop. So, take a bite. Tell me what you think. I got the cherry.
Apricot.
Delicious.
Very good.
And I think for something like this, a nice rosé sparkling, Bolla from Italy makes really, really nice. It's not a super dry sparkling rosé. It's delicious.
Oh.
It's really good for, cheeses and things like that. I mean, it's delicious. I can't wait to taste this. Oh, delicious. That is amazing. Go to my website to get goat cheesed out and look for the goat cheese truffles and the steamed beets with goat cheese. Be right there at CaseyMaloneShow.com. Cheers, Mommy.
Cheers.